Last week, best week. Sorry, I'll have a little bit of background noise this week. So my group didn't respond again, so I am on my lonesome and I will do the best I can on this case. Um, this, this. Okay, so we have the story of this young man, Clayton Christensen, a fellow disciple leader, was faced with a tough decision. He's a 6'8" basketball player at Oxford University in the NCAA basketball tournament, and one of their games fell on Sunday. He had to go to coach to let him know, hey, when he was 16, he committed that he was never going to play basketball on Sundays, and you know what he was supposed to do. Um, the coach was like, "What are you talking about? Like we've worked so hard for this. What should we how could you really even be asking for that? Just play and then go get right with your God later. In the semifinal game, the backup center ended up getting launched in the air, fell on his shoulder, hurt him. Um, and um, so, even more pressure for Clayton to play. How would you handle the situation? Upon what principles would you base your decision? Well, I came from Oklahoma and I played some golf tournaments on Sundays. I'm a golfer, and my parents didn't like that things fell on Sundays, but like it was just the way it was. Like if I had a tournament on Sunday, I just had to go, and it probably wasn't the best thing. So my answer to this is not like the most ideal, but if he were my son, I would probably tell him to make the best decision for himself here, and if he felt like the team really needed him and relied on him, and then I'd say a prayer and you know if it was between him walking off the court because it was a Sunday and them losing that, like they had no chance because they don't have any other centers like that they're without. I feel like in that moment he's got to step up and play the game. I mean, I really struggle to see how the Lord would, look down on that for you showing up for your team if it were a Sunday. And I feel like it would be a very almost Christ-like thing, but maybe that's blasphemous of me. I'm not sure. But in reality, I mean, I would do my best to encourage him at all possible to avoid that on Sunday because if you get in the habit of that, the whole thing is you're going to stop eventually going to church and blah, blah, blah. So life seems to be full of exceptions to the rule. It is likely that all of us will be faced with multiple decisions in life that invite us to make small or large deviations from our standards. Just this once, quote unquote. How can the choice to be a disciple leader fortify you for these kinds of dilemmas? Honestly, you just have to make that decision beforehand and try to avoid getting yourself in that situation in the first place. In that situation, it was completely out of his control. It was based up to the tournament that he was going to have to end up playing on Sunday, and there was no other center. So I feel like in that moment, step up, make it happen, don't do it again. Um, but how you can avoid these deviations is to look ahead and see those things before, the unfortunate thing is if you're an athletic kid, I mean, like Tony Finau, who is a really great golfer, he's LDS. They live down in Draper or wherever they live at, and he plays golf every Sunday. He just goes to his ward in the in the early morning before his round. Like he gets the sacrament at the local church building and then goes and tees off for his tournament. So there's some mixed things going on here, but ultimately, what I believe is that in Clayton's situation, play the game, make it happen for your team. Because if not, then what are they going to do? And that almost makes it worse on us LDS people that we do something like that, you know? So, yeah, if you're committed to it and you're committed to your team, you play that game. I think the Lord understands that. If he doesn't understand that, then um, you'll probably have to repent for that and move forward. But that's kind of my decision that I would move forward with. So, yeah. From part two of the case, we can see how that ended up. But anyways, I hope you guys, professor and the TA, you guys had a great semester. And sorry, this is like super thrown together, but my group never responded, got finished with conference and stuff, and figured I ought to go ahead and record this. So thanks for everything this semester and have a fantastic week.